Welcome to our Cronosurf Wave tutorial series, where we will provide clear step-by-step instructions on how to use and enjoy this innovative chronograph watch. In this first episode, we will explain the design concept as well as the basic components and functions of the watch. In the following episodes, we will go into detail on every single mode and feature. The concept. Cronosurf Wave is an innovative chronograph design concept with a user interface that has been carefully designed in order to achieve optimal usability even on a physical analog watch. This video series focuses on the virtual prototype that runs on Android devices and Wear OS smartwatches. In these versions of Cronosurf Wave, a few features that are not possible on a physical watch have been implemented, like the graphical menu, adjustable colors, and user messages. However, these have been kept at a minimum in order to keep the core concept fully realizable on a physical watch with physical hands. Components. The main components of Cronosurf Wave are the central watch face with the conventional hour, minute, and second hands, the date rings, 3 subdials, and 5 buttons, which are labeled A, B, C, Set, and D. On Wear OS smartwatches, the buttons are mapped onto the screen. In order to visualize the touch areas for the buttons, open the graphical menu by tapping on the center and tap on the upper left button. On the Pro version, long press on the lower button. Tap anywhere to exit. Mode indicator. The navigation through the many features of Cronosurf Wave is organized in modes. The upper left subdial shows the current mode. This indicator shows the 5 main modes, which are time, stopwatch, countdown timer, alarm, and world time. Some of these modes have specific submodes, which are indicated by special symbols near the main mode mark. The modes countdown timer, alarm, and world time have a submode that is used for setting their time values. These set submodes are indicated by a small dot. For example, when the current mode is alarm and the set submode is activated, the mode indicator will indicate this by jumping to its submode mark. The time mode has a calendar submode, which is indicated by a small C symbol. There is 2 additional submodes that are visible depending on the configuration. The sun submode, which appears only on the Pro version of Cronosurf Wave and is indicated by a small S symbol. And the compass submode, a submode of the world time mode, indicated by a gray dot, which appears only when the device is equipped with a magnetic compass sensor. All these submodes will be explained in detail in the corresponding episodes of this series. To navigate through the main modes, use buttons A and B. Button A switches modes clockwise, whereas button B switches them counterclockwise. For convenience, you may return to time mode from any other mode by either pressing button A for 1 second or by tapping on the Cronosurf logo. The 24-hour subdial. One distinctive characteristic of Cronosurf Wave is its 24-hour subdial, which shows noon at the top and midnight at the bottom. In this configuration, the hour hand corresponds approximately to the sun position as seen when facing south, here 15 hours and 23 minutes. For this reason, the 24-hour hand has a small circle on it symbolizing the sun. Furthermore, the lower half of the inner circle appears darker than the upper half, symbolizing the night hours. While this is the base design, the Pro version allows the user to choose between configurations noon on top or midnight on top. This dial shows the world time when in time mode. In all other modes, however, even in calendar submode, it shows the local time. This means that, regardless of the active mode, you can always find the local time either on the main dial or on the 24-hour subdial. Decimals Subdial. The subdial at the bottom of the watch face serves multiple purposes. Its main function is to show the decimals of a second for an ongoing time measurement while the watch is in stopwatch mode. In countdown timer mode, however, it shows which operating mode is active, one time or infinite repeat. In most other modes, including the time mode, it simply shows the state of the alarm, on or off. We will talk in more detail about the function of this subdial later on in the according chapters of this video series. Date rings. A unique feature on Cronosurf watches is their full monthly calendar. This is achieved by two independent rotating rings on the main dial. They show the date, from 1 to 31, and the day of the week, first letter in English, except for Thursday, which is shown as TH. The triangular shape or date indicator at the 12 o'clock position indicates the current date and day of the week. Since the date rings turn steplessly, the date indicator gives a hint of the time of the day. This serves as a coarse AM/PM indicator and allows to distinguish easily between morning and afternoon hours. At midday, the date indicator is exactly centered on the day, while at midnight, it will point at the separator between the days. Furthermore, the rings show a unique overview of all days of the current month, which can be used as a one-month calendar. In this example, the 27th of the month will be a Wednesday. In a future episode, we will cover in detail the calendar submode, including how to determine the last day of the month and how to navigate the 100-year calendar. We will go now briefly through the modes of the watch. In future dedicated episodes, we will go through them individually in full detail. Time. The main mode or home mode is the time mode, which corresponds to the local time. The correct time is determined by the system. There is no need to adjust the time from within Cronosurf on the phone or on the smartwatch. Stopwatch. The stopwatch can measure up to 12 hours with a resolution of 1/20th of a second. The Pro version includes split and flyback functions. To start the time measurement, press button C. Press again to stop, and press button D to reset. Countdown timer. The countdown timer has a range of 12 hours and has two operating modes, once and repeat infinitely. The current mode will be indicated by the lower subdial. To set the countdown time, press button Set to set sequentially hours, minutes, and seconds. The current hand can be set by pressing buttons C and D. Press Set again to switch to the next hand. You can also drag the hand with the finger in a circular motion. This, however, is only possible on phones and tablets, but not on Wear OS, since any swipe motion is reserved for system gestures. After setting all three hands, press Set once again to exit the Set submode. Start the countdown by pressing button C. Press again to pause. In the paused state, you may press button D to reset. By pressing button D while the timer is running, you can toggle between the operating modes. Alarm. The alarm can be used as a conventional daily alarm or optionally as a once or non-repeat alarm. The setting procedure is the same as for the countdown timer. However, only the hour and minute hands are set. The date indicator will reflect the current alarm time and helps distinguishing between AM and PM. Furthermore, the seconds hand indicates the remaining time to the alarm from 0 to 24 hours. In this case, the alarm is set to 6:15 a.m., and since the local time is shortly after 10 p.m., the remaining time to the alarm is just over 8 hours. The state of the alarm, on or off, is indicated by the lower subdial. When the setting mode is not active, the state can be toggled via button C. World time. The world time is a secondary time with a fixed time offset from -26 to 26 hours relative to the local time. The time offset is shown by the left digital indicator. To set the world time, press button Set and set first the hours, and then the minutes in 15-minute steps. In the setting submode, the time offset is also shown by the seconds hand. You may set the world time to be always UTC by pressing Set for 1 second while in setting submode. This is a special setting in which the time offset is not necessarily constant, since the local time can vary throughout the year due to daylight saving time. In order to determine the current setting type, the digital indicator will show an uppercase H for the UTC setting, as opposed to a lowercase h for a fixed time offset. From the World Time mode, you may activate the compass as a special submode. To do so, press button D while making sure the setting submode is not active. The hands will turn to form a north indicator, with the minute and second hands pointing to the magnetic north. Press button D again to exit the compass submode. In this episode, we covered the basic components and modes of Cronosurf Wave. The next episode will explain some further components and the user interface that is specific to both Android devices and Wear OS smartwatches, like the graphical menu and the user preferences screen.